Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new card review video. That's right, the Lost City of Agoros mini set was announced earlier today, and we have some more cards to go over, including a Rogue Legendary, which can basically copy whatever your opponent has played. Pretty cool, although you can't really shadow step it that well. Is it that good? I don't know. We'll see. As well as a brand new Amalgam, which looks actually pretty scary. So we're going to talk about these cards, review these cards. You want to win these cards. We have that giveaway going on. We announced earlier today for 3 mini sets out of my pocket. To enter the giveaway, like and comment in the video, link the description below, the one with that thumbnail over there. Be subscribed to the channel. We're going to add another mini set for every 1,000 subs we get until that mini set goes live next Tuesday. So hit that sub button, make me go baroque. So let's start off with the pretty whatever card here. One of the neutral cards, the Herbivore Assistant. It is a 3 mana 3/2 minion with Battle Cry. Give a friendly beast +2/+2 and rush. So if you got a beast on the board, this is effectively a 3 mana, like 5/4 worth total of stats, and get a nice beast, you know, some rush. Maybe you play it alongside something the same turn. That's probably the best idea. Have it attack in, or maybe it proc from a death rattle and or a spell, and then you give it rush. That can be quite nice. I just think back of that old really cool card way back in the day. It used to be 5 mana. I think it's 4 that gave a friendly beast just +2/+2. I think it was a druid card. It was a class card, I believe. Now we have a 3 mana card, a mana cheaper, gives the same stat buff and rush, and I doubt it's going to see play, right? Let's be real. This is probably not going to see a ton of play. It's got to go in a very beast specific deck, and it's not a beast itself. So like Hunter, you look at in particular, that really hurts, right? You have cards like Fetch that you really want to make sure you draw to, and you're already running that, you know, the 6 mana card that can mess with that. So I just don't see it going in there, and I don't really know where else it's going. I guess you could buff up the 1 mana Amalgam in like any class, and then it infinitely has +2/+2 in rush. I don't know if you ever factor that into a deck or whatever, but that's something you can do, or maybe another Amalgam we'll take a look at in a second. But regardless, yeah, it probably doesn't see play in the constructed meta, right? It feels too fair. It feels like an older Hearthstone card. It feels like a Lost City of Agoros card so far, but it's a neutral common. They're typically not amazing. We'll give it a 2. Again, I don't think it's irredeemable. I don't think it's complete garbage, but again, it probably doesn't see competitive play. And in Wild, I'll give it a 1 because it's not even aggressive. There's no scam. I don't see it there, but overall, it's kind of what you're expecting from these neutrals. However, the one epic of this mini set, I would be surprised if it does not see play. This is probably a pretty good card in the Crater Experiment. So this is the one epic, like I said, of the mini set. It is a 5 mana 3/4 with the All tribe, meaning it's an Amalgam. It has every tribe in the game, and it has Kindred summon a copy of this. So as long as you played any tribal minion the prior turn, anyone, it doesn't matter, any of those, it'll be active. And we all know how good summoning minions that are copy can be really, really strong, right? Especially like Hand Buff Hunter recently. I look at this as like Quest Shaman. Anything that's got extra tribes is great. And I believe you would get the adapt on both of them, right? If you've completed your quest. So you would get double dip on that. You get double dip on any hand buffing, just not necessarily board buffing, right? Because once it's on the board, unless it buffs the whole board, might not be necessarily great, but it's an all type minion. And those have almost always seen play. Almost always, and it's got the summon a copy of this, which has been a problematic mechanic. I have got to say, it's been a bit problematic. I don't see this as problematic, but I can absolutely see this slot in to some deck somewhere, whether it's a Quest Shaman, whether it's like a Beast deck, whatever, right? Like it can do some work. I don't think it would go into Hand Buff Hunter because you don't play enough minions to activate the Kindred on this. You already have 2 copy things that I think are better than this, but other decks absolutely can utilize this. So I'll give it a 3 out of 5 in standard. I could see the same play. Again, a pretty easy Kindred to go off as long as you're playing any tribal minions, right? In wild, we'll give it a 2 because it's probably too slow there and all of that. And you're not putting this in your Shudderwalk deck to get your Shudderwalk to get a copy because, again, it's Kindred. Will not necessarily work on that. And then, yeah, lastly, we have the Rogue Legendary Mirrex the Crystalline. This is a 3 mana, 3/3 elemental beast. I love that it has 2 tribes on it. Like, they put all this effort into the tribes because, well, the text on this card reads, while in your hand. So it has to be in your hand. When you top deck it, it will not be active. This is a 3/3 copy of the last minion your opponent played. So it's kind of like a weird pseudo mirror entity of sorts, where let's say they played a testing dummy, their last card, you play Mirrex, it will change into a 3/3 of that card, right? And then I guess whenever they play, it'll constantly update. I don't believe it'll just get stuck there, right? You'll have those options. So this is a card that is very dependent on what your opponent is going to be doing. It does work with like a test though, right? It'll turn into that card and you play it, it'll be basically active as a test card and not come back as a 3/3, right? It should come back. Let's say testing dummy, for example, you play a 3 mana 3/3 testing dummy, play test, you should get the 4/8 back, right? It should work that way. So it could be a cool burgle card like that. It could be very punishing to like a really big, large, powerful minion. Could you imagine this like in the prior Titan meta where you could have got a Titan from this? That could have been really something. But as it stands right now, there's so many minions you just don't care. You don't care about copying, or they have a powerful battle cry. But I guess you should get the battle cry, right? So it can be pretty good with a battle cry minion as well. Now that I think about it, right? You're playing it, so you should get that battle cry. So it can work in that regard too. But again, you're really relying on your opponent to play, you know, specific minions that make this worth playing. And at the same time, if this is a meta card, people can somewhat play around it, right? They're playing maybe a couple of minions in a turn. Well, they'll play the one that they don't really care if you copy last. And then they're kind of screwed. And it's also just one of these brutal top deck cards where you top deck it and it's just a 3 mana 3/3. It's a dead card until your opponent does something, or you're facing like Quest Mage and they never play a minion and this does nothing, right? So there are some real downsides to it. There are some obvious potential high rolls with it. But without Titans being around or something really crazy like that, I do feel like it's probably not worth the cut. Maybe a Ceaseless, you copy their Ceaseless, but typically even when people play a Ceaseless Expanse, they usually follow it up with something else, and then you can't copy that. So at the end of the day, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I feel like we're going to get so many negative comments, but whatever. You guys can say whatever you want. I feel like it's not going to see competitive play. I feel like so far, the major cards we've seen so far, not amazing. And this one to me is it a 1? I want to be nice and give it a 2, but I just can't see this seeing meta play in Rogue, especially when it's all about prepping and stepping and doing all those things. You're not doing that with this card most of the time unless you could, I don't know, maybe they Fire Act and you can play your own Fire Act. That's really good. But overall, I'll give it a 2. I won't give it an irredeemable 1. In the right meta, copying the right minions, it could be okay. But overall, it's more of a fun card, and right now it's really hard to have fun playing cards like this because you blow up, right? You blow up, and in Wild we'll give it a 1, even though it could copy like Shutterwalk or some silliness over there. A quest reward, it could actually copy a quest reward. Maybe, you know what? Actually, now that I think about it, maybe this is a tech for quest decks, right? You're facing Quest Warrior, you can copy their reward as long as that was the last minion they played. I'll still give it a 1 in Wild and 2 in Standard, but you just never know, right? There is some fun value to it, but overall, I just don't think it's gonna be a meta player. Anyways, that's it for the cards now. I believe there's reveals tomorrow and then again on Friday, and then we'll know all the cards by the end of the week because Labor Day weekend and all of that. So it won't be a very long reveal season. So get in that giveaway, stay tuned for more reviews, and let me know, do you think these cards are phenomenal? Are they gonna save Hearthstone? Are they gonna make quests great? Oh yeah, these don't even really work with the quest so far so much. Anyways, they're mostly neutral except for the legend. Regardless, we'll talk about it more tomorrow. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.